What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy, Mr. Micro Mike, and I am here for the post-game show with Mr. Detroit Drew. What's going on, Detroit Drew?
I have seen better days. You were right. Hit the Undertaker music. It's time to bury this team and get ready for some basketball and get ready for some next year, man.
It's over!
He said
This
hit the
team will
Undertaker
rest
music.
in peace, bro.
We also got here Luke G from Luke G's Field Review. What's going on, Luke G?
What up, though, people? What up, though?
Hey, we are about to get this post-game show cracking. Folks, it ain't good. It ain't good. First off, before I get into that, Luke G, can you do roll call?
You remember I'm driving. I can't.
Okay, then yeah. I will do it. What's going on? First off, I want to say, wow, thank you guys for showing up for a post-game show after that. I see that you can't hate me, Mr. Kenzie. What's going on? Big Mike, what's going on? JT Sports, what's going on? Dim Sum, Madman Marco, Jay Schultz, Jacob Brown, hard work and dedication, Devin99, F the NFL. That's the best name so far. Sean's Gaming, Big Take, Jacob Brown, Lions Pride, Zra. What's going on, fellas? Let's go ahead and talk about this game. Yeah. Luke, what do you take away from this game?
My takeaways were, I knew that we were going to need Snacks to have a big game, and the Lions offense finally put touchdowns on the board instead of field goals, and the defense can't stop nobody. And the worst part about it is they lose Adam Thielen. Snacks Harrison got bodied the entire time. I was watching him, and I'm just like, bruh, if he get put on his back one more time, and I know why the exhaustion is setting in with him, but we couldn't stop the run. And I did not. The biggest two plays of the game for me were the 4th and 2. I hated that play call. I thought that play call was absolutely horrible. And especially when you compare it to 2nd and 6, what they called for the Vikings. You needed a call like that where they were going to sell out anyway, and you get a guy up the field. I know Fred Jackson came into the chat, not the chat, but he came into one of my videos and he left me a message, and he said that all season that he kept telling us that we should have took a defensive player with that pick at 5, and that we should have not taken the tight end because the tight end ain't done nothing since that first game. And, it took him 6 weeks to come and say something. I get it. But my question to him, and I'm waiting on the answer, is what defensive player could we have taken at 8 that would have changed this season or that would have changed this game? So, for me, this is part of it. I'm not ready to put them in the body bag and zip them up. I don't blame people who are, but I'm not there yet. Mathematically, they are still in playoff contention, but the division talk, now that get real. That get real. They gonna need some help to get something like that.
Oh, what I take from this game really quick is that this season's over, folks. In my opinion, it is done. We are cooked. It's over, man. This defensive line has underperformed throughout the whole year. We paid a lot of money, and we are not getting anything out of it. You cannot win football games with this defensive line. It is gutter trash. It's absolutely trash. I seen people that they wanted the phone lines up. I got them up because I wanted to hear it. Someone is crackling in and out, so if that's you, please end it.
Wait. What's wrong with you, man?
Okay, someone going crazy. I'm going to have to shut their mic off.
That might be Carl, man.
Okay, so, yeah, in my opinion, let's see. Joseph Murdoch, the guy who's been trolling me now for a couple weeks. Hey, if you want to keep trolling me, I'm going to just go ahead and remove you from my platform and from all the DSA platforms. If you got an issue with me personally, DM me on Twitter. I can give you a phone call. I can bring you up on here. But if you're going to keep talking that trash, I'm just going to take you off. I'm not playing around with that, man. When it comes to this team, this defensive line is completely underperformed. And that's my bad. I thought this defensive line would be top 5 right now. It's bottom gutter 5. I definitely overestimated this defensive line. It's not good. It's bad. It's broke. And the season's over, in my opinion. I no longer look positive upon this season. Detroit Drew, man, what you think, man? What's your thoughts?
The fans deserve better than what we are getting, man. We just spent all of last week blaming the refs for screwing us out of a win. And then we come home and play the Vikings, who aren't supposed to be as good as they are, who seem to be turning it all around all of a sudden. And we come out here and we play like this. Absolutely embarrassing. Offensively, the only bad thing I could say is we have a terrible job of picking up the blitz, and that 4th and 2 play was probably the worst play you could have called. Everyone and their mom knew you were passing it, and you tried to get fancy with it, and it didn't work. And yeah, it was pass interference, but it doesn't matter. That play was absolutely dirty. It wouldn't have mattered. Matt Patricia is supposed to be this defensive genius. Well, I don't understand how he can keep Patrick Mahomes out of the end zone, how he can beat the Patriots, almost beat the Rams, the top teams in the league, but come out here to Minnesota and let Kirk Cousins just tear you apart. Plus, you didn't stop Delvin Cook. You just let Minnesota run wild on you. It was a bad defensive game, and offensively, you played great. Minnesota couldn't stop you either. But what good is that when it's a shootout and you can't convert on 4th and 2, and you can't stop Minnesota? This fan base deserves better, because this fan base loves their Lions. And if you talk bad about them, they let you know about it.
No, first off, Mr. Weatherman, I'm going to get into this. This has been going on for a couple weeks now. If you're going to go ahead and troll, I'm simply going to take you off. Period. If you want something, if you want to talk negative and say, hey, I made mistakes here and there, that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to keep trolling me, I'm going to take you off, because I don't do this for a job. I don't do this for money. I have a real job, and I'm not going to take that crap. I've done too much in my life. Too much of my life serving my country, 6 surgeries, hell and back, to take your bullshit. If you want to troll, you're trolling the wrong person. If you want to correct me on mistakes, hey, that's absolutely great. I have made many mistakes, and I am definitely no Nostradamus. But if you're going to sit here and clown me and troll me, I'm going to just take you off. Go ahead.
I mean, and the truth is this: even in a loss, you could be upset, but you can still be upset and do it in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to target and say that a person is inaccurate about something, then do so. I think that would be a fair assessment to have, and say, hey, you was wrong about this. That's cool. That's when you're on YouTube, we know that you're going to be able to point out when we right and when we wrong. But just do it respectfully. But to me, this is how I look at it. I've said it from the beginning that the team that scared me the most in the division is who? The Minnesota Vikings. Why? They have everything we have, and I think they match up with us really well. I said today on the pregame show that the person that I need to step up is who? Snacks Harrison. Well, he got body today. He got body.
Hey, whoever has the ability, go ahead and take Joseph Murdoch off. Completely block him. He's not allowed back any of my platforms. He is now done. Go on.
So I look at this game and I say to myself, where does the problem come in at? I think Drew is right. We blame the refs, but I didn't. I took a lot of heat for it. I took a lot of fire. And to me, I watched it and I said, this game should have been over before that. Now, this game is totally different. This game, I didn't blame the refs. This game, I didn't even blame the offense. In fact, I guarantee you somebody's going to come out and say that this is a classic Stafford game. Stafford balled out. But they're going to blame it on the quarterback. The problem with this game has been the same thing it's been all season. And that problem is we are not consistent at being disciplined. That is the number one thing that we got going on here. There were a few times where the Lions made plays on defense to get them off the field, but we had penalties. We're not consistent enough as a defense right now. Offensively, we can't run the ball. And the sad part is they actually did try to run it outside this time, and I felt like this was the one game where you just dot them up with the tight end, and then you do run those stretch plays, but we just couldn't get it. And we got to start to talk about Kenny Galladay and big moments, because I go all the way back to the Thanksgiving game against the Bears just before Matthew Stafford threw that interception to he threw that interception to the Bears defender. I said the tight end ran the wrong route. That's one. And two, I said the other problem was Kenny Galladay dropped a game leading touchdown before then. This has happened in crunch time a few times. So there's some concerns on this team that we definitely got to address. And but to me, I'm not ready to say the season over because mathematically they can still get into the playoffs.
Yeah, but here's my whole thing, man. We brought in Patricia to be this defensive guy. We just gave up 42 freaking points to the Vikings, who, have all the weapons there, but for the most part of the season, they've been struggling. You cannot tell me after today that this is the same team that went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. Something has happened. Something is not right with this team. They just lost 3 straight. So let's say they make the playoffs. It's not going to be NFC North champions. That's pretty much out the window. You're going to have a hell of a time trying to scratch and claw to get back into there. Mathematically, is it possible? Yes, you could still do it, but it's going to be tough. So let's say you make the wild card. All right, that's cool. You're not going to win that game. The only way this team is going to win a playoff game if it's at home, and now that's pretty much out the window. So what's the point?
No, I mean that's fair. I think that's a fair statement, and I can't argue with it. But I'm a fighter to the end, and so you got to knock me completely out for this fight to be over. So, but yeah, this team had problems. We have addressed it. I addressed it at their wins. I addressed the problems early on. The Cardinals game, I told you, it makes it hard for me to believe a lot in this team. Then they go out to get the Chargers. I'm like, hey, it was set up for us to do it, but you hit the nail on the head with the head coach. At some point, we got to start to look and say, what needs to be done differently? The game management has not been there, and on top of the game management not being there, they have not been able to consistently do certain things. But I don't think nobody's going to pick the Giants to beat us. I don't think nobody's going to pick the Raiders to beat us.
If we can't stop Delvin Cook, we're not going to be able to stop Saquon. Saquon's going to go for $150.
He may go for $150, but if they can keep scoring how they did, we'll be fine.
Hey, sorry. I was doing some stuff here. Look, man. What's going on, CA3, man? Are you able to speak now, man? No? Okay, well, let's see here. CA3, can you speak yet? No. Okay, well, what I've seen from this game is we have talent on the place, but what's the most important part when it comes to talent is the offense and defensive line. When it came to this defensive line, I totally thought they'd be a lot better than what they are. They are absolutely not good. They're not good. And I said they were going to be a top 5. Not only was I incorrect, I was blatantly incorrect. I was absolutely garbage on that prediction, and it's showing. It's absolutely showing, and it sucks. As a fan of the game, not only I would rather be incorrect when it comes to predicting a Lions loss all day long than be correct and assume that they are going to lose. But right now, I just found out, this team is not good. This defensive line is not good. Matt Patricia is not good. He's not good enough. We are losing games with the talent on this roster because there is a lot of talent, but just not good enough, man. They're not.
And I get the frustration everybody has. I do. I saw it. I saw a lot of these problems in the win. But the truth is, this team has a lot of work to still be done. And you're right. They do have a ton of talent. They do have a ton of pieces that you can look at and say they should be doing better. So for me, I watched this game and I said to myself, you're right. That defensive line is just not living up to the bill. They're not doing it. Trey Flowers, I told people I didn't want him because it was going to be $18 million, and I didn't think he did enough, in my opinion. And they said, "Oh yes, he did. He did enough." And I'm like, "But he didn't. He really didn't." And sorry for the beeping, people. I am in my car. I just took my seatbelt off. But he just didn't do enough for me to say, hey, he's worth that $18 million. I've watched people for years chew out Matthew Stafford for his contract, but where has Trey Flowers been? Where's Snacks Harrison been? I said that, they're going to probably pay Snacks, but I probably will wait until the end of the year because players, they get that money and then they all of a sudden don't show up. Thank God it's only a 1-year extension. So to me, yes, be upset, be frustrated, be aggravated. Because right now, your team is in a position, if they're going to even make the playoffs, they got to go 8-2 down the stretch, 9-1 at best.
Absolutely. And yeah, Don Burr, look, it's hard for me to control, especially when there's a lot of people in the chat. So I make moderators for you guys to help me out personally. You're managing many different things, and it's fairly difficult. So I made you a moderator. Do is what you see fit. Just make sure you do it right. Please help me out in that sense. Yeah, man, look. I tell you what, though. Marvin Jones had a hell of a game. Holy smokes, 4 touchdowns. I did like that.
Yeah, but he dropped one, too. He dropped. The drops got to stop, man. We got – excuse me. Excuse me. The drops got to stop. They got to stop. I can't take it no more. It's exhausting with these drop passes, man. It really is. And the run game, the biggest concern was the one we always talked about was the offensive line. I got to be honest, in the past, they was okay, but God, they can't run. They just can't run. They can't. And no matter what they do, I listen, I told y'all off rip, I think there's a lot of people saying that our offense should be on top 10, and I was like, no way. I'm like, Darrell Bevel's offense in the first year has always been around 20 and down. That's his history. That's what it's been. The second year, he gets better. Okay? But when we talking about this team, y'all got to put everything into perspective. There were some good things out there today, too. And I'm not trying to shift it into a way to say, oh, anything about this is good. But some good things happened. They kicked 1 field goal today, people. 1. They scored 3 touchdowns, but they kicked 4. They scored 4 touchdowns, but they kicked 1 field goal. And to me, if they can keep that type of offense, the defense just got to buckle. This whole bend don't break is cool. They did blitz a little bit more this game, but it's clear to me that we're missing some dogs on this team because they're not generating it. And they don't have the rotation at the D-line to get their best players out to get a breather. Every time they took off Snacks and they left fit A-Shine, who was already tired, they gouged us up the middle. They took them both out. They really gouged us up the middle. He bounced it out a few times. This team is lacking identity, and they're still trying to find it, and it's unfortunate.
Absolutely. Folks, I'm opening up the call lines right now. I want to hear from you because, we're all frustrated, and I want to hear what you guys think as an individual that's looking upon this. Like, what is going on? Please let me know what you think, man. I am ready. I am ready to hear it. Absolutely. Go ahead and call in. Make sure that you mute this, though, because then we'll get a double feed, and it sounds god-awful. So make sure when you call in, go ahead and mute that, and we are lock, cock, and ready to rock and get this thing going. DA3, man, what do you think?
Oh, man. Injuries hurt us a lot, man, but that's not really the problem in this game. The problem in this game, I mean, you can't stop the run. Like with Minnesota, you had to, like, when you're playing Minnesota, you have to plan to stop the run. I mean, because Delvin Cook is a lot of their offense. I mean, you have to stop him. He's been going off all season. He has the most 100-yard games out of all running backs in the NFL. You have to stop him.
Okay, got the first caller in. Let's go. What's going on, man? You're on with Micro Mike post-game show with the fellas. Who this?
It's Matt.
Hi, man. What's going on, man? What do you got to tell us?
Well, for one, man, with this is all on today. The offense put up 4 touchdowns, all right, and the defense just let Minnesota run down the field. The problem with our defense is like Lou G said, we don't have no dogs. We don't have no pass rushers. We need them guys that's going to cause problems in one-on-one matchups.
Facts.
That whole system defense thing, that's cool, but that's only cool for what you quote unquote call the bend don't break type defense. That's not going to get you championships when you don't have dogs.
Facts.
And it's not like we have that's why Tom Brady got away with it, because Tom Brady was on the other side of the ball. And when you don't have dogs on defense, you're going to have that bend on break defense. The fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, we need balls, guys, that when you have that one-on-one matchup, he's going to hit home, or if not, he's going to scare the dog crap out of the quarterback and cause disruptions that way.
Facts. What do you think? Do you think they can correct this, in your opinion? Is this something correctable, or are we going to have to go through?
It's definitely correctable, but the problem is those corrections have to be made in trades or free agency in the draft. They got to stop overshooting the talent that's there for us to have those one-on-one matchups and grabbing these players that quote-unquote have promise instead of the players you got a good idea that when I draft this kid right here, the minute he touches the field, he's going to make an impact.
Okay, we got another caller calling in. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you for calling in, man, and keep enjoying the show. What's going on, man? You're on with Micro Mike in the post-game show. Who this?
It's C. Perry, man. How y'all guys doing right now?
Oh, we are living the dream. We're peachy. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Look, man, I'm going to be the unpopular opinion today. And I'm going to say some stuff that people definitely not going to agree with, but it's going to all be fact. I'm not here to crap on Stafford. I'm not here to pick on a particular player or a concept. What I'm here to say to you guys is people's expectations are through from the beginning. And now everybody being let down and they want to become part of our squad. This is the first-year offense person for me. A first-year offense. So Stafford ain't even built that camaraderie with the offensive coordinator that he needs to develop. First off, they still don't trust each other, really. And then the team is losing their soul by losing. Close game. Nobody even taking that into consideration at all.
You know, you make a really good point there. You do make a fantastic point.
You know, Patricia and Quinn is building something together. But nobody want to see long term. Everybody wants that quick fix. It's like the young people nowadays. Everybody wants that fast money. And you cut it out because they building something and everybody buying into it and seeing what they building. But then when we lose, it's like, oh, same old Lions. Oh, whining and crying. Look, this is a man's game. It's what it is. We don't take some L's that we've been playing good teams and playing good.
I like this caller.
Now,
I like this one.
Real question, and I'm not calling these cats out because I think it's a problem because of the youth. Davis is not playing to his potential. He is not. He's blowing coverages, and he's not tackling running backs before they get off the backfield. He's the leader of the defense, but he's not leading the defense. And he's trying to do too much. It's like he's trying to take on other people's roles, like he don't trust his fellow linebacker.
He out of position.
You got old offensive linemen of other teams getting a hold of him and the rookie. They're getting a hold of him, and that's not supposed to happen. And that's what we were saying earlier in the season when we got these two would not happen because of our D-line. It's not the D-line fault. D-line is doing a job. They put pressure on people. They're doing a job. Quarterbacks ain't getting out of the backfield without linebackers letting them get out the backfield.
Okay.
They're keeping everybody occupied, putting pressure on the quarterback, but nobody's getting hold of the quarterback because the linebackers are trying to cover or do everybody else's job. Our secondary is top-notch. That's how I'm doing the secondary job.
Hey, man, I appreciate the
last thing.
Yeah, go ahead, quick. We got another caller.
All right, so this is the last point. Look, we got a good team. Even if we don't get as far as everybody thinks, we got a good foundation. A tree can't grow without foundation, without roots. Just don't give up on the squad. Everybody like, oh, same old Lions. No, it's not. We got a good squad.
Okay.
All right, good boy. You guys have a good evening.
Hey, you too, man. Have a good one.
No, I like that caller. I mean, I'm on the same boat as him. I'm not ready to just say, "Oh, toss it out." And I do think this team is a good team. I think that they have been put in some bad situations.
What's going on, man? You're on with the post-game show with Micro Mike, Luke G, and the fellas. Who this?
This is Kedrick.
What's going on, man? What do you got to say to the people?
And we suck.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
I saw Kerry today, but I guess he didn't. And I think Trey Flowers, I think he needs to go.
Okay.
He's not doing anything. He ain't doing nothing.
I feel you.
Jared Davis. Okay, he had like one good play, but like he got down, he got back in. But I think we need to trade him.
Okay, you think you got to trade Davis? What else? What do you think about this offense? Is it starting to gel? Do you see that there is something getting built here?
I think the offense is amazing. I think we utilized today a lot. Tight ends, Jesse James got a little bit of play time, but Hawkinson had some good plays. Obviously, Stafford should have swung it a little bit up for Hawkinson, but wasn't the deal. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for calling in, man. I got a ton of other callers coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, and thanks for supporting the DSA, man. So yeah, man. I seen that got another caller. That was quick. What's going on, man? You're on the post game show with Micro Mike and Luke G, Detroit Drew and CA3. Who this?
What's going on, man? It's Mike.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a great name.
What's going on? Yeah. The one thing that kind of ticked me off about this game, man, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I noticed quite a few plays where the guys in our defense look real hesitant, like they're reacting really late after the Vikings offensive players caught the ball or ran the ball, and guys were out of position, and then they were kind of just standing there and watching. I saw a lot of standing and watching in this game too.
Okay.
I think that kind of hurt us in that game where there's some yardage that the Vikings could have had taken away from them if guys were flying to the ball. That's pretty much my point. I didn't really see guys flying to the ball like they should have been. And we need playmakers, man. We need playmakers. We need guys that's going to make plays on their own. And I really didn't see a lot of that in this game. The offense played pretty well outside of the no rushing game. They really got to fix that. We're going to continue to struggle if they don't. Simple as that. One way or another, you got to get yards because other teams like the Vikings, whether they good at running or not, they getting yards just by falling forward. And so we run the ball and we getting 2 yards or negative. So they got to find ways, schemes, move guys around, double tight end, whatever you got to do to at least get 3 yards, 3 to 4 yards a rush. We can't even do that half the time. And I feel like that we're gonna continue to struggle on rushing aspect until they clean that up. And see if there's any trades out there we can make. The one exception I can say for the Lions this year is they do like they're playing better, but the playing better and playing up to expectation is 2 different things.
Hey, I'm with you 100%, man. 100%.
They're not playing up to expectation at all, and or even playing up to what they're capable of playing to. They play up to the level they're capable of playing to. I think the Lions will probably be undefeated, no more than one loss in the whole.
Yeah, and this is one of those seasons where you're frustrated because you can see that there is the ability of getting all these wins, but it's just not occurring. It's not due to like a lack of talent like we've seen, after 0-16 or the last couple of years after that. But you see that there's talent there, and it's just not getting done. And it's so frustrating.
Guys not making the right plays, man, and they're not staying in position and stuff like that. Because I've seen plays where we would have had them dead to the right, so the guy would have just stayed in his gap.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the guy, I saw one guy on defense when Cook or somebody ran the ball, he took a nap in the middle of the play, and then somebody making a run on the outside. And if he would have been watching the ball, he could have met him and sealed the edge, and that would have been null and void.
Facts.
But,
he makes a point.
So it's
making some
making the right play and paying attention, man.
Absolutely, man. You made a lot of good points, and I truly appreciate it. You got to DM me on Twitter, man. I got to get you up on here. I really like what you're saying here. So hit me up if you want to get on the round table and we can talk good facts. With that said, I'm going to close the lines up for just a couple of moments because my boy 313 JMO is here. Thank you for the call, man. I truly appreciate it. Enjoy the show.
Man, thank you.
You know, one of the things I want to point out that I've noticed that's been a trend with the callers is everybody say that Luke G is crazy and he look at this game so weird. And I told people all the time, I look at those little things because those little things is what matter. It's a reason why with certain players I didn't want because they didn't win one-on-one matchups. And I'm saying to myself, what are your pass rush moves? How do you play the run? What are these little details that you do? And when I watch certain people, I didn't see it. And everybody is pointing out the little things. Linebackers missing gap assignment. D lineman not winning one-on-one matchups. Trey Flowers not showing many pass rush moves. And every single piece of that is planted to it. When your offense scored 4 touchdowns, that's 28 points. Your defense needs to hold a team to at least 20. At least 20. And today, they didn't do that because he was right. They were hesitant. They were taking false steps. I see all those little things, and I just sit back and I go, okay, this can't happen. Jared Davis is playing out of position. He's a weak side linebacker, and he should be moved immediately.
Hey, I want to say there's a lot of phone calls coming in right now. I turned them off for the moment. I will probably put them back on, so just be very patient. I want to give the floor to JMO. JMO, what's going on, man? What do you got to say to the folks?
Can y'all hear me, man?
Yeah, a little bit. You got to speak louder.
Hold on, my fault.
All right, hold up. Man, this game is heartbreaking, low key though, because our main goal. What was the main goal going into this game? What's the one thing we had to do to win?
Stop the run.
Stop Dalvin Cook. Could we do it?
Nope.
Hey, it makes me mad because it wasn't no big runs. He was just getting 5 yards. Like my man Key Eric said, he was just falling forward. I mean, that's why we lost the game, man. I'm going to say this one time only. Anybody blaming Matthew Stafford, send me an Addy, I'm going to light your house up. And real people know what I mean. I'm not making no jokes because I don't have time for it. But Bob Quinn, we're going to have a talk, bro. Because to me, we lost these last 3 games because Bob Quinn has not gotten us any pass rushers. And that's how cookie crumbles, man. I don't got that much to say, bro. He gave 42 points, bro. I don't know what to say.
I don't blame this on Bob Quinn. I don't. I think that there's more than enough talent for this to work. In fact, it almost makes more sense, and it's just me, it almost makes more sense for them to move Jared Davis to the weak side linebacker, move Christian Jones to inside with Tavai, and on the outside, they're going to have to go and get another outside linebacker because the only pass rusher we seem to be Kennard. Let him go back to the D-line because this whole thing that they doing right now is not going to get it. And like I said,
that's why we got to have a better defensive line when it comes to a pass rush perspective. I know how our defense is, but you got to get a pass rusher. Like, you just have to. And looking at, Kirk Cousins has so much time in the pocket. I wanted to get out of the field and see how I feel. Like, oh, my God. And he was just throwing the receivers, and they were just open. Christian Jones getting cooked in coverage as usual. Every time Kirk Cousins needed to play, he threw to Rashawn Melvin or Christian Jones, and they got it every single time.
But that's what happens when you stay in man.
I'm just saying, Dalvin Cook was running the ball so well. They scored 2 touchdowns just because we were scared of Cook.
Now listen, J-Mo, you bring up a good point too. You bring up a very good point because I know that Pro Football Focus got a video out right now talking about the pass versus the run. And the thing that I look at in this game was every time Kirk Cousins called a play action, the Lions bit. Every time. I don't care how they did it, they bit. The ball, the entire box was loaded. They loaded the box up, and every time they called play action, the Lions bit. We called play action.
Bro, they scored 2 touchdowns off of that.
And then
watch him do it.
I mean, and
Right.
then even if they knew it was a run and they had him in the backfield, somehow Devin Cook broke off the tackle. Like,
I want to say one more thing, and then I'm gonna be a little quiet. Why can't we win a game when Matthew Stafford plays well? Like when he played well, we lose.
Because the game was on his shoulders. The game was on his shoulders. They want
he balled out.
It boils down to simply this: when teams start to realize that you can't run the ball, guess what? You are officially one-dimensional. And one of the things that I knew that we wasn't going to be this year was one-dimensional. But I didn't expect for us to keep calling these damn dives neither. I mean, how long are we going to stick with the dive? And I'm not saying that it's a bad play, but we don't have the guards to move people to just keep calling these dives like this. He diving so much, I'm gonna start calling the offensive coordinator Michael Phelps. It's too much. We have to find ways to get people moving within the scheme, within space, and we are not succeeding in that part of the game.
Offense wasn't the problem for this game, though, man.
No, I'm not blaming that. I'm not blaming the offense at all. You never heard Luke say offense is a problem. I'm talking about the little pieces of the game that irritated me. The 4th and 2 play call. Okay, yeah. It was a few 3rd and 6s. I'm like, what is that call? The lack of discipline. Logan Thomas, a penalty, killing the drive for a first. It's these little things. The defense, they are who I thought they were. And I'm not even trying to make no joke in reference to Danny Green, RIP, but I'm just showing you they are who I thought they were. I didn't think Trey Flowers was going to come in and be this immediate impact, but I did think that we was going to have more blitzes, and he's not dialing it up. We are the least blitzing team in the NFL. The least. I didn't think that Snacks will regress. Okay. Didn't see that coming. I didn't think our best defensive lineman would be Ashawn Robertson, who now you got to even question, do you pay him or not? Because guess what? Is he showing out because it's a contract year? Like, it's frustrating to watch your offense finally put points on the board and your defense can't hold them.
Well,
you know, they didn't even get close to Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. They didn't even get close to him.
Well, they didn't make adjustments after the second half. They went out there and, like you said, every time they did play action, they bit it. There's no adjustments. There's no coaching out there. Matt Patricia's got his hands in his pants, pencil in his ear, just got that stupid look on his face, like, oh man, looked like someone just busted a fart in his face. I don't understand, man. Like, we need a coach who shows passion out there, who's going to, may not win every game because you're not going to go out there and go 16-0, but you have to make adjustments both offensively and defensively, and they haven't been doing that.
And on the pregame show, I forget who said it, but they said they feel like the Lions are holding their playbook back. And I'm like, that's exactly what I see. Again, clock management is important. I don't see where we was doing that part down that stretch. And, and the truth is if you go back, you can just look at those certain downs where it's like, get a stop here, people. Get a stop. They were still punching at the ball and things like that. Cool. I'm with that. I'm not with this idea that you can't maintain gap assignment.
Yeah, folks, we have 122 in the chat. I think we got 34 likes and 4 dislikes. If you have not liked, please hit that like button. It helps me. It helps the DSA spread the movement. And if you're one of those individuals that dislike, hey, I totally get it, man. Maybe you're angry about the Lions loss. Maybe you're angry at me or one of us. That's totally fine. Totally get it. If you disagree, when I open the phone lines up, give me a call. Go ahead, man.
I mean, I don't know if it's just me, man, but I'm tired of watching the same episode over and over again of Stafford balling out but busting his ass every game, and the team just lets him down all the time. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, we can never run the ball like consistently, and there's always one big hole in our team like that holds us down every time. I don't understand.
I mean, it's just not a complete effort. And if you took today's offense, I'm just being honest. If you took today's offense and put them in the Cardinals game, we win that game with the defense that played that game. If you put today's offense in the Chargers game, that's a convincing win. The same goes for the Chargers. For the Eagles and Kansas City. You know, if you even had that offense on Monday night,
You win.
we win that game because it's the small things. But the problem is, and I'm just going to be honest, we're being exposed as it pertains to the depth on the D line.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. We don't have enough D linemen to rotate in. Austin Bryant was supposed to be one of the guys rotating in. He's on IR. Deshaun Ham will be one of the guys rotating in. Where he at? He hurt. So you don't have anybody to rotate in. Like if you want to go through and say, "Hey, name me the backups to Snacks and Ashawn," you're gonna say Strong and then who?
The Water Boy.
You see what I'm saying? It's just too much for the current starting line. There is no depth rotation.
Here's the thing I don't get about it though, man, is you have all these playmakers on defense that you're not blitzing. Like we haven't heard of Devon Kennard hardly at all this season. Last year he was a beast. We're not blitzing Tavive or Davis or Kennard. We're not blitzing Quandre Diggs. I mean, we're not getting any of our playmakers opportunities to get after the quarterback. We don't have the personnel to do a 3-man rush and fall back into coverage and get pressure on the quarterback. We don't have those players. Snacks is a beast in the run game. He's not really a pass rusher. He's not a Sue. He's not getting the double team on the passes because he can't get the quarterback. He's 30-something. He's 350 pounds. He's just there to stop the run. Now, Mike Daniels,
he's not a 3-down D tackle.
Right.
He's a first, second down guy.
He's
350
pounds, man. He can't play the whole game, man. Like, I'm not a physician. I'm not in the best of shape. I couldn't do it. But you can't tell me a 350-pound man is going to go out there and play 4 quarters, 3 downs every time, and get pressure on Kirk Cousins or whoever the quarterback is. It's not going to happen. You're supposed to have this defensive guru who's supposed to get these amazing blitzes, and it's not happening.
Yeah. I mean, and the truth is this. The truth is I told y'all off rip when I started my investigation into next year's draft. I told y'all I saw defensive back and pass rusher as the 2 top needs for the Lions that they're going to target based on who's coming out, based on the schools they're coming from, that I think the Lions are going. And I'm not even done my investigation, but those 2 positions stood out because of so many reasons. This team, to me, simply needs to find a different approach. Start fast, stay fast. First drive, they come out. Should be a field goal. What happens? You get a false start on a kick. How in the hell you couldn't hear the snap count on a field goal kick?
Nick Sports got a great question, and I would like to transition to that. We got to trade for somebody now and do it now. I'm in agreement. I think we got to make a trade. I think the season is hanging on a limb at this point. What do you guys think, man? Do we need to trade for a pass rusher?
No. Only reason I'm going to say no is because whoever you trade for need to be up to par on value and actually be able to bring some value to this team. The Denver Broncos said that they're not trading Von Miller, but you're going to have to sit in the house of picks for you to get a Von Miller. So now the question becomes who? Ryan Kerrigan, if he stay healthy for a season. But you know you're going to come out of a pick higher than you need to at this point. At this point, they need to get people back healthy. And at this point, if they're going to trade for somebody, they need to trade for somebody that's not going to break the bank. But who are you going to come and get that's going to bring a level of pass rush?
Chandler Jones, Von Miller, depending on the price. I think at this point, the season is fairly close to being over because there is no pass rush. You must have pass rush in this league. I thought the defensive line of the Lions was going to be really good this year. That was the biggest mistake I made. Completely foobarred that one up. F beyond belief. That was my biggest blow to myself. Right now, pass rush is non-existent. It's just not there. They got to get pass rush, and they keep saying they're saying well, if this person was injured, that it doesn't matter at this point, man. Hand's been injured for a while. Does he come back and completely change this defensive line? I don't think so. Not the way it needs to be, because the quarterback's sitting back there 10, 15 seconds. I've never seen this. I have never seen quarterbacks just sit back there this long and have the ability to pick a defense apart. There is nothing there. There's just nothing there going after the quarterback. And you can put in there Fails behind that, and if you give Fails 10, 15 seconds, he'll do damage. Imagine what the Cousins did, Aaron Rodgers, all these other quarterbacks are going to do down the road.
Yeah, I just think if you trade for somebody, even if you trade for Chandler Jones is not a consistent pass rusher. I saw Vic Beasley's name come up. If he's up for a trade, there's a reason for it, because Vic Beasley has been inconsistent and hurt.
I don't want Vic Beasley injury.
So it's just, the truth is it has to be somebody that changes the platform. If you telling me that right now it's gonna take 1 first-round pick for Von Miller, who's still under contract, okay, cool, but it ain't gonna take 1 first-round pick. So my attitude to it is we got to get back people healthy. We just got to. And we got to get people who can win a one-on-one matchup.
See, I personally think that even with the health that we have, even if we're at full strength, this pass rush is non-existent, and it's not going to help out. It's just, It's not. I've never seen this. I have never seen a defensive line. It looks like high schoolers out there. It looks really bad. And I'm a guy that played wide receiver, and I know the fundamental of winning a game is through the trenches. And right now we are failing on that defensive line. I know the offensive line's not opening up holes, but right now this defensive, there is nothing to pass rush. It's like having me out there going against 400-pound guys. It's just not happening.
That's why I miss Ndamukong Suh. When they let Ndamukong Suh walk, my spirits is broke, because the Ndamukong Suh factor changes defenses. It just does. And the truth is, with this defense, in all honesty, and I think let me try to get his name right. Gary DeRuth, I think I said it right. We just not down the blitzes. If your D-line not getting home, send somebody else. And we're not doing that. We're not dialing up blitzes. We keep rushing 3 and sitting everybody else back into spots to play man. But our linebackers, the Chris Joneses of the world, he's not no good coverage linebacker.
But when you got to understand, why aren't they blitzing this much? Because they're not blitzing at all. Why? Maybe because if they blitz, they're completely making that scheme inept. Possibly because they don't have the talent. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're not seeing blitzes, and we're not seeing any pass rush. Any pass rush. King of Cobra 73 says, good game from a Vikings fan. Hey, appreciate the attitude there. Much love back to your team. Again, Kirk Cousins is from Holland, Michigan, and I live 5 miles from his parents' house, and it's really cool to have him represent Holland. But yeah, back to who out there wants to make a trade, and if you got a trade in mind, what player for? Detroit Drew, anybody in here? What do you got, man? Should we make a trade? Doesn't matter what position, just
defensively, it's not going to help when you don't have good scheme. So, I don't understand the point of giving away a first-round draft pick at this point, where if you get a Von Miller or whoever is on the market, say you can get even an elite pass rusher or whatever it may be, what's the point of bringing that player in when you can't put them in a good position to thrive or win games or win their position battles? It doesn't matter who you're going to bring in. Patricia is too inconsistent with his play calling and his schemes to waste that draft pick on somebody. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if Patricia can get better, because we have talent on this team to be good. You look at the roster, man. We should be getting to the quarterback with everyone that we have, and we're not. It's all about the scheme. And if Patricia isn't calling the plays defensively, he needs to, or what week is this? Is it week 6, week 7, whatever it is? Week 17, he's going to be in the unemployment line and then going shopping for groceries. He's going to have to do something, man. It doesn't matter who you're going to bring in. It's not going to work.
And Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. People are saying that we can't blitz because we gonna get exposed even more. That was Kirk Cousins. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. That's Kirk Cousins. You blitz Kirk Cousins, okay? If you telling me don't blitz Aaron Rodgers, I probably won't argue with you. That was Kirk Cousins. They picked up four times, a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 14. I think one was a 3rd and 18 or a 2nd and 18 on one play. So sitting back didn't help. That's Kirk Cousins. You want people in his face. You want disruption. That we wasn't going against Tom Brady today, people. It was Kirk Cousins. We didn't go up against Lamar Jackson, a guy with mobility, or Russell Wilson with mobility, or Deshaun Watson. It was Kirk Cousins. You blitz him because he was just sitting in the pocket. I think he knitted like 4 sweaters for his cat. He made chili. I mean, whatever the slowest thing you could think of, he did it because we was not sending anybody. It's Kirk Cousins. Like, no, we gotta send people at him. You know, like look, Taylor West, the most athletic dad in the NFL. I'm telling you, man, there's no way we let him sit there. For me, we can't trade for anybody. We can't. And the reason why is because I'm looking at this upcoming draft, and I'm looking at the possibility of people who can be moved. I've seen people say trade for Michael Bennett. For what? For what? We need our guys back healthy. Mike Daniels needs to come on back. Brian needs to be on back. And he needs to be on back. Why? Because it's not necessarily a matter of are they going to generate this great pass rush. No. They create a rotation to keep players fresh. Because I can tell you right now, you put in the 50 pounds, he big. You put him out there for that whole game, man, he was getting bodied. He was on his back way more than I would like to see. And that's because there's nobody to come in and give him a breath. We have to be better in our defensive rotations, and we have to be better in our schemes. Even the offensive scheme was suspect because it was plays that I'm like, I know what's coming, but they made a play. So okay, cool. But when you look up and you watch a team line up, play at the play, and I made the same comment about the University of Michigan after that Army game, when a team just gonna line up and run it down your throat, that's called domination. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You know I'm running the ball. Ain't nothing you can do to stop it.
I don't think we have the talent right now, even when healthy, to make any sort of disruption because everyone is playing underperforming. Snacks Harrison is completely underperforming. Trey Flowers is underperforming. You're not even hearing much about Akawara, who had 7 sacks last year. I don't know what the deal is. And let's see. JT says we're basically running out of time. A few more losses and it's over. Look, I think if we have another bad year like we did last year, I think there's a lot of people that's going to be axed. Is Matt Patricia on the hot seat? Detroit Drew.
Yep, he is. I think that we got too hyped over the 2 wins that we had, and we got overhyped on the performance against Kansas City. These games mattered the most. You lost 2 straight games in the division, 3 total, 1 coming off of a bye week. It's unacceptable. There is no excuse for you to allow 42 points at home. You cannot tell me that the Minnesota Vikings offense is more high-powered than the Kansas City Chiefs when healthy. Now, granted, the Chiefs didn't have Tyreek Hill, but you were hyped up for that game. You are playing down to the competition, and that shows poor coaching, poor game management.
Say it again, Drew. Say it again, Drew, because I know we got people who are hard of hearing, and I'm telling you, at the beginning of the season, my biggest concern wasn't even position-wise, it was the coaching. Say it one more time for the hard of hearing. You can't do what? That's on the coach, that part. That's a beautiful line. Say it one more time.
Wow, which part? I said a lot there.
The part about when they're playing down to their opponent, that goes against coaching.
That part.
Yeah, so that part. Run it back. I just dissed them. Let's run it back. Let's go.
Poor preparation and playing down to the competition. It's not winning football, and it doesn't matter if it's hockey, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, table tennis, water polo, potato sack races. If you do not play hard every time, you're not going to win every time. And you can't play good against the good teams and expect everything to be okay. Because according to this schedule, we only play a select few tough opponents. Everyone else should have been an easy win. And when you don't go out here and you don't win against those quote-unquote easy win teams, you aren't going to win your division. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're going to be mediocre, 6-10 again, maybe get a top 10 draft pick, maybe, if you're lucky. You can't do that, man. You have to go out there. This organization is not the Patriots. You have not earned the right to take games off. You haven't proved to the fan base that you can win every game yet. And it's sad for all the fans, man, because I know a lot of these fan bases here in Detroit are mainly Lions fans. They want this team to be so good, so bad, but when you keep bringing in doofuses who can't prepare your team right, it's not going to go anywhere. And it's sad to see, and I hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was one of the questions of the day was, you know, how do you view this coaching staff? You know? And this coaching staff, to me, Dale Bevel, Paul, I'm not even being funny. I really don't even think Paul Pasqualoni called his own defense. I'm serious because it don't feel like it. It's just a hunch. I could be wrong. Dale Bevel, again, this is what he does, man. He did the same thing with the Vikings, the same thing with Seattle. That first year is a growing pain year because he's still putting stuff into play. But I gotta be honest, I'm still trying to figure out why we seeing J.D. McKissick so much. This the only dude I see in the running back group that go down on every shoestring tackle. Everyone.
Well, he's only like 5'7" or 5'8". He's not a very big guy. He's just a speed back.
I get it, but here's my problem with it. At some point, you need to be agile enough to make a person miss. To get that miss on it. He made a person miss for a first. Great. But too many times he went down on shoestring tackles. And then here go the other part of it. The head coach, everybody wants to blame the quarterback, but the head coach has the sole energy to affect the outcome of the game. He has the sole ability to do it. So when things like this happen, it should get placed at his feet. In this case, I'm blaming the defensive coordinator. And then I'm going to blame the head coach because you hire your mentor just because you wanted him to have another shot. But I don't see where the improvement is happening on defense. And I don't like this idea that we play up or play down to our talent. Now, you lose to the Giants, Lord help me.
I'm already in that mode.
Who do we play down to? Who do we play down to?
They played down to the Cardinals in the second half when they went all full prevent. And in the second half, they played down to the Cardinals.
We did
not play down to the Cardinals. We had a 17-point lead. We just choked that game away with that timeout when we had J.D. McKissick open for a first down and a win.
Wait, hold on.
I feel like
hold on.
Besides the Cardinals, who else do we play down to? I don't even we haven't been playing down our competition. We've been playing up everyone.
We played down to the Cardinals. We played down to the Chargers. We played up. We played up definitely to the Kansas City Chiefs.
We played down to the Chargers, and they were favorites.
We were at home. We were at home and won 13-10.
The Chargers are at that time they were a good team.
What good? Okay, hold on.
You play down to a team that's the same record as you right now.
They came into it without their best tight end. They had their best running back out that game. Their second best receiver was hobbled and didn't play, and their best defensive player wasn't even in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean? Derwin James is not their best defensive player.
Who is?
Joey Bosa.
Yeah, he got you there, man.
I got you there.
Listen.
Wait,
got
so
you, man.
One season in the NFL. Wait, Derwin James
fair enough.
One season in the NFL, and he's better than Joey Bosa.
No, listen. Fair enough. If you want to give to Joey Bosa, I believe that the safety position holds more weight than that guy pass rushing. But I get what you're saying. But when you go through, you look at even
Bosa is the beast, man.
Nah, I mean, Darren James is the best.
Safety position means more than a pass rusher. What?
absolutely. Bruh, go. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm finna show you what word. Go and look at the Green Bay game. Okay, well, I'm finna tell you. I'm talking about historically too. I'm talking about. Okay, listen. Historically, go and look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had Troy Polamalu. Who was their best pass rushers?
Von Miller. Denver
I said they had. I said Troy. I said no. I said Troy.
All day.
No, I said the Steelers. They had Troy Polamalu.
I don't know none of the Steelers players.
Okay, well here, let me help you again.
I'm pretty sure they have some great pass rushers.
Listen, you go to every team. The teams with good safeties that shore up the middle of the field, they tend to have better defenses because you can do more with them. The Pittsburgh had a good safety with Troy. The Ravens had Ed Reed. Huh?
But was Ed Reed better than Ray Lewis though?
No.
What about
Wait. Ed Reed had more impact in games than Ray Lewis. When Ray Lewis was there with Ed Reed, he helped make Ray Lewis stay functional because Ray Lewis had lost a whole lot of steps.
Folks, let me say this. If you have not hit that like button, please do so. And we want to get this out. We want to get this out, man. We love talking Lions, even when they suck, even when they disappoint.
And we got
even
to,
when I want to take my head and I want to smash it across my wall. I want to eat crayons and lick windows. Even at that point, I still like talking about the Lions. So please hit that like button. Also, if you have not hit my notifications, hit that bell for all my notifications. And if you've not subscribed to the folks on the DSA, please do so. Their links are in the description.
Facts, man. Make sure y'all get in there, man. Because I'm telling you, the thing that people want to always do, they want to focus on these small central ideas, but it's the little details that go into it. We go to that Packer game. Our safeties were horrible. They were horrible, minus Walker, but the other safety was horrible. You saw a complete difference with Diggs out there. Period. You saw a difference.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about the Vikings game. Like I told y'all, I think this was on Thursday. I'm not gonna be worried. Now we ain't winning the division, but I'm not gonna be worried until we lose to the Raiders. I expect us to beat the Giants. We don't beat them. There's nothing to talk about. But Raiders are they're solid. We lose to the Raiders, then we going 8-8. But right now, I feel the same way I felt after the Arizona loss, that we're a 9-win team.
Wow.
I thought we would have been better, but the run blocking is just I'm speechless. I've never seen run blocking this bad for the Detroit Lions. And that's I won't say never, but that's saying a lot. And when we have good back, like Ty Johnson looked good today, but like when you don't use people, and I just think, he
wasn't in rhythm.
When you on a 4th and 1 and Stafford has to throw the ball, throw the season away. Like, I don't care. I know he our best player. I know we can't run. I still would have run. I would rather have us ended on missing a run than an incompletion like that. But at the end of the day, our defense was horrible.
But everyone knew they were going to pass the ball there. I don't understand why they went play action.
I don't know why they did it either.
Even when Slay was healthy, not Quandre, Diggs was still cooking them. And Rashawn Melvin had a bad day. I feel like that PI on Justin Coleman would turn the whole game around, but I'm not going to blame this one on the rest. But I was like, I guarantee you this play is going to come back to bite us. And it came back and did it. I didn't think that was pass interference.
Cannot blame this on the ref.
I ain't even here for that today. No, we can't. I ain't even here for that today, but my thing is when your pass rush, let Kirk Cousins throw, a 50-yard pass to Diggs in the biggest play of the game? That's when you know you have a problem. While Quinn, he needs to go get some pass rushers. I think we'll finish with 9 wins, but we're not making the playoffs because the Vikings are going to make the playoffs over us.
And you got to look at the NFC all around. They're strong.
That's what I
The NFC is
was
strong.
saying. Like even if we won this game and finished 10-5-1, we could have still missed the playoffs because the NFC is that good. But we're not making it unless the Vikings fall off a cliff, because the Packers got it, the Seahawks or 49ers are gonna get a wild card, the Carolina Panthers are gonna get a wild card, and that's it. Vikings might not even make it, to be honest. So, I just feel like we'll be better next year, man. We're gonna win 9 games, man. Let's just enjoy the ride, man.
Well, JT Sports says he want to call in because he want to talk to Luke G. Whenever Mike decides to, if he decides to open them up, and if not, if Mike open the phone calls up, JT, you got my phone number. Hit me up. We can do a show on your channel, or whatever. Ain't no biggie.
Legendary Sportscast. Stop listening to these dudes. They're just gonna gas y'all up. The Lions are terrible.
What have we been What have we been gassing up today?
Wait! I got this. I just told every Lions fan we wasn't making the playoffs or winning the division,
but we gassing them up. Wait, J-Mo. I went ham after the Chargers won on Stafford. Right? I talked about I didn't even blame the referees. I was just telling you, listen, I didn't even blame the referees for the Packers loss, but we just gonna gas y'all up. You see why this is why certain narratives should never be put out there, because people are smart enough to accept the ridiculousness of certain narratives. What have we said today that's a gas up job? It's funny, man.
Is that an Antonio Brown burner account? Because that dude's a clown.
If I was gassing up, man, I'm using the wrong stuff.
The
gas that I'm throwing on people's head right now is yellow. It is not gas.
Bring out the clown shoes.
What did we say that was gassing? I don't know what we said that was positive. I don't know what we said.
Yeah, it is a troll there, Gary. Hey, go back to your 15 people chat.
Hold on.
Like we gassing them up. Well, listen. I tell you one thing. If we gassing them up, this some cheap gas.
Hey, man, no, but the chat is basically saying we wasted Stafford's career and he ain't going to be a Lion next year. And you know what's funny? You know how many Lions fans came at me after the Arizona game where I was like, trade Stafford and set him free? This the type of BS I'm talking about. The man threw 4 touchdowns. When we was about to lose the game, he was like, here, Marvin, here go another touchdown. Hey, man, it is what it is. If Stafford don't be a Lion, I'm going to be happy with everything. He probably would have took a
Trade him to New England once Brady retires to see how good he does over there in New England, bro.
Man, what?
Jesus. Could you imagine, bro?
Please call him in New England, please.
Bro, if that happened, I really would like. I've never cried over a sporting event, man, never. But that's gonna be the day I'm gonna cry. That I'm gonna be like, bro, you did what? You sent him where?
I might have to get my tattoo covered up if that happens.
Wait, why would you if we was to go somewhere, wouldn't you want him to go to the best place for his success?
Listen, I would be happy for Stafford, but I'm a Lions fan. You know what I'm saying? Like that's stand for me. I don't want Stafford gone.
But how's this gonna look for us, bro?
Every Lions fan I've ever met, every Lions fan that's pessimistic, if we can't win a championship or a playoff game with Matthew freaking Stafford, #1 overall pick, an amazing elite quarterback, we're never going to win anything. We already had the greatest running back ever. We already had a top 4 receiver of all time. And we're going to have a Hall of Fame. If we can't win with Stafford, we're never going to win. So when all these people want Stafford gone and when our replacement gets here and gets hurt the first 4 years because he ain't going to have no O-line, it is what it is. If we can't win with Stafford, we're never winning, bro. And I don't say it like that. But if you can't win with a quarterback this good, how you gonna win?
I love the fact that Boss as a mother effer says at least Luke G didn't get insulted by somebody's wife. Yeah, I had Tavon Wilson's wife come at me because I said that he's inconsistent and he's a tick, and so she did not like that at all. And she hit me up.
Well, wait till Tuesday. There's still time.
Oh, you're right. She still got time to come at me.
We got a phone caller coming in because I opened them back up. What's going on? You are on with Micro Mike, Luke G, J-Mo, Detroit Drew CA3 for the post-game show. What's going on? Who's this? Yep. Hello?
Yeah. Great take.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. So you gotta get your phone stuff squared away to make sure that it is good to go, and then we can move forward. Let's see if it works again. If you give us a call, go ahead and do that. With that said, man, yeah, go ahead and call in if you want. Here we go from Texas. What's going on? This is Micro Mike. You're on the post-game show. Who this?
Yo, what's up, nigga? Hello?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Y'all already know who this is. This Big Rage. Like, what's good, people?
What's good, Rage, man? What is going on, man?
Yo, what's good? First off, let me give a shout out to my Packers because we fast today. But back to the conversation at hand. Look, if y'all willing to listen, I got the perfect solution for all y'all, bro. For all y'all woes, I got the perfect solution.
Jim Jones Kool-Aid?
Jim Jones Kool-Aid. This is what y'all do. Check me out. You need to get rid of Bevel. He's trash. After that, you need to downgrade Matt Patricia to your DC, your defensive coordinator. After that, you go get a running team offensive coordinator, and then you need to go get a youth head coach, an offensive head coach. Because defensive-minded head coaches do not do well in the league. Everybody knows that. Vic Fangio ain't doing well. Matt Patricia ain't doing well. I mean, Mike Tomlin, he was a defensive guru. He's not doing well. I'm just saying. That's all I had to say, bro.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in,
Rage, man.
Thank you for protecting our country, even though you're a little kooky sometimes, man. And, I feel like you're taking that Jim Jones Kool-Aid, man.
I like what he said about defensive coaches.
All right, man.
I like what he said about defensive coaches not winning.
Hey, what's going on? You're on with Micro Mike post-game show. Who this? Really? Okay. Well, I had to end that call again, so.
Saying, if you look at the best coaches in the league, they're all offensive-minded right now. I'm talking about the young guys, like the new guys. Like Vrabel is still good with Tennessee, and McDermott is good. They're not going to win anything. You got Sean McVay doing stuff. Matt LaFleur, that he ain't doing it. We know that's true. But even Matt Nagy with Trubisky. I mean, he made Trubisky look like he wasn't a bum, but we know he's a bum.
What's going on? You're on with Micro Mike and the Lions post-game show. Who this?
I'm not sure. I would like to talk about how Matt Patricia didn't, change up his formation of his defense. Like, I know with the top man-to-man defense, but like, I guess sometimes we have to run zone. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because like everybody know we run a man, and everybody know that they can shoot up top and not, go up low of passing the ball like short yardage. Somewhat like that.
Okay. So what do you say? Should we make a trade?
I think we should trade Matthew. I'm not even gonna cap. We might as well just like tank, and if we can get like a top tier first round draft pick and get another quarterback.
Oh man,
that's what I'm just saying.
Well, all right, man. Thanks for calling in. I got other phone calls coming in. Enjoy listening to the rest of the show, man. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead.
I got one thing. If you want to trade Stafford, cool. My question is, how can you replace a top 10 quarterback?
I mean, I haven't even got that far. I'm trying to feel like I know people want to trade Stafford. I know people want to trade Flowers.
What's going on, man? You're on with a post-game show with Micro Mike. Who this?
What up, man? It's JT Sport.
JT, man. I know you're wanting to talk. Go ahead.
All right, so I want to talk about how people keep bashing Terry on, but I'm gonna just keep it short. So I'm gonna talk to Luke G about how I think Detroit really needs to trade for somebody, because at this point you can't wait for anybody to come back healthy because it's too long. And I mean, when you look at some of these other teams that are going to spend the playoffs, like the Rams and all these other teams, the Rams just did a mid-season rebuild. This traded for Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey ended up helping them win that game versus the Falcons. He had a fourth fumble. He played great. Pittsburgh had to trade for Mingo Fitzpatrick. And the thing is,
if your pass rush isn't getting there, then you got to have good coverage, because what the New England Patriots do is have any elite pass rushers. Michael Pittman didn't even play last week, but what they do is they get a lot of sacks due to how good their coverage is. So you either got to have outstanding coverage corner, so you can end up getting coverage sacks, or you got to be able to have guys who are able to get after the passer. But right now, if I was the Detroit Lions right now, I would try to trade for Von Miller. You need a superstar. You cannot wait until it's week 9 when you might end up out of the playoff hunt. You're already out of the division race. You were like 3 games back. So how long are you going to wait for guys to sit back and get healthy instead of trying to trade for a superstar player right now? The New England Patriots, the New England Patriots traded for Josh freaking Gordon. Yeah, they didn't trade Van for him, but they traded a good part of him. He helped them get to the playoffs before he ended up getting suspended. So if you have a hole at your spot of the team that you desperately need, you have to address it. You have to take risks, and you have to trade superstar players. You are not going to win. You're not going to get to the playoffs by being conservative and not trying to get after superstars. If Von Miller is there, then you the fan and give him. I mean, at least you know what you're going to get out of a guy like Von Miller, instead of trying to draft somebody with a first-round pick that could end up being a bust. If there's a superstar there, you got to trade for him. Because, Lou G, how long are you willing to wait for the Detroit Lions to get fully healthy? What if it takes 5 weeks and Detroit's out of the playoff picture? You got to trade for a superstar now while you still have a shot at getting into the playoffs, because Detroit is not out of the playoff picture, which is why you got to go ahead and you got to make that trade, because you can't keep waiting for guys to get healthy. You got to make a trade right now, because you never know. While you're in that spot right now, you're in a playoff spot right now, but you might not be in that playoff spot in the next couple of weeks. So you can't wait. You got to take action now. You got to. You can't wait.
Folks, that's JT from JT Sports.
I love JT, man. I love JT.
He knows his football. If you have not subscribed to JT Sports, please do so. You can actually find him on my page. With that, JT, I'm going to go ahead and end a call, and I'm going to have Luke G answer your question, all right?
I appreciate it.
Yep, adios.
Well, first off, man, I love me some JT, man. JT can hit me up on a bad day and be like, I need you on the show, and I'm there. You know, lock, stock, and ready to talk. You know what I'm saying? But here's the problem.
Hey, man, no, that young kid knows sports, man. He ain't young, man.
Oh, listen. I didn't listen. I ain't break up age. I respect what he do, and I respect how he go about doing it. And he brought up some very good points. But here's my thing. How long am I willing to wait? I'm not willing to trade that pick. There's a price tag that's going to come with getting a guy like Von Miller, and I'm not willing to spend it. I'm not willing to spend the first and the second. I mean, you got 2 first-round picks and a 4th for Jalen Ramsey. I wouldn't have did that. The pick that they gave him for Fitzpatrick, I wouldn't have did that. No way in the world. Because at the end of the day,
what's going on, man?
Who this?
It's Mac again. I wanted to make another point I forgot to make earlier. I also want to throw a question at you guys, and we can kind of go over it once I hang up. But I want to kind of look forward to next season. And next season, I really think what's irritating me, Bob Quinn, is he has failed yet since he's been here to go after the pass rusher in the draft and in free agency. And I really think he needs to do that. So I think pass rush is a must for us in the offseason, whether it be draft or free agency. I think that we need to get another offensive lineman or 2 still. And I definitely think we need to find somebody we can plug in the middle of our defense if we can. Like and maybe possibly even a receiver, because who knows what's going to happen with our receiving core by the end of the season. I might even consider one of those in the later rounds. But I want to start, looking at next year just to kind of, see where we can get to plug some of these holes, man, because we still got too many holes, and it's really holding this team back. And I just want to throw that at you guys. So I guess my question would be, what positions do you think we should attack in the offseason, draft and free agents?
Okay, I'm going to hang the call up, and I'm going to have Luke G answer that, or anyone else on the panel answer that after the next
I'll be quick with it. I mean, he's hitting on the same position that I targeted, and I think are going to be available for the Lions based on where they're going to be drafted. I think those are all good points. But overall, I see people who say they don't think that Von Miller is going to cost us first. Didn't Von Miller just get a contract like a year or 2 ago? So if they're taking a cap hit, they're going to take a cap hit worth something. Just like with Jalen Ramsey, you take a cap hit, take a cap hit worth something. So I do think Von Miller worth a first. Now, if they come out, if we can somehow finesse them and get Von Miller for like a second, third, or fourth, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. But if they get a guy, if they get a guy like Von Miller, they just gonna double team him, and we still gonna have the same three guys rushing, not winning one-on-one matchups.
I mean, my thing is like,
I don't know about that.
I mean, my thing is though, like, how is it gonna help? Like, how's it gonna help a lot if we get a pass rusher and we don't blitz? That's my thing. Like we never blitz.
Well, that's another thing. But I was gonna say this: what the dude JT was talking about getting. It's like this: you make a power move for this year, or you wait till next year and build the holes. Like when I was talking in the chat, I was telling them, you know, we gonna win 9 games, and next year is when we gonna be really serious, because either you go get a guy like Von Miller or Chandler Jones and go all in this season, or keep your same team and win 9 games. If you want to do that, the slow build, another year of Stafford criticism, should he get traded? Cool, but me, only reason I wouldn't go all in is because Green Bay is 6-1. Like, what's the point? Like, unless Rodgers get hurt, they might. I said they might win 14 games like the other day. Like, they win 50.
I'm gonna tell you what the point is. The point is they know they're on the hot seat when it comes to Patricia. There's a lot of heat coming Detroit's way.
I don't think Patricia's on the hot seat.
I do. I definitely. I think there's a lot. Look, the reason they went so aggressive this offseason with the player acquisition they did is they felt the heat from last year when they underperformed.
Facts.
In a lot of people's opinion. Now, I had picked them to win 6 games, but in a lot of people's opinion, they underperformed. That's why they did a lot of player acquisition this offseason, and that's the whole reason why I joined YouTube, is because the Lions were not getting the love with the acquisitions they made. And now you're seeing the acquisitions, and it's still not working. So I think
it's 50-50 with the acquisition. That's how it is in free agency.
I think Dale Griffin made the best statement that sums up my view of this whole thing. He said the defense gave up 42 points. Bringing in one player won't correct that, and that's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that.
That's just the truth. What one player are you going to bring in? Even JT. JT says he didn't necessarily mean trade for Von Miller. He was just using it as an example for a superstar that's there. You got to get him. Who is the superstar? And what is the cost for it? Like, you don't just walk into the Lamborghini store and go, I want that one. There's a price tag on that. You don't just walk into a store for Bentleys and say, oh, yo, I want that one. The one with the spinners and the suicide doors. Yeah, let me get that. There's a price tag to it. One, can you afford the price tag?
You pay for the price tag. I mean, the Rams have as many Super Bowl wins as us, but at least they paid for their price tag. They went to the Super Bowl.
They didn't win, though.
What you want? They did. They didn't win because they quarterback. That don't got nothing to do with the money that they paid for all of their players. Like, you pay to play, because all the teams out here spending that big bank, the teams that's usually down at the end of the road, or teams that make a move. Like, I don't think Jalen Ramsey.
I think you got it backwards.
Way too good.
I think you got it backwards. The teams who spend the most money often lose. They don't do success. The Rams went out and spent a ton of money, put themselves in cap hell, and look at this season. They sold out for everything. Yeah, they went out and they overpaid just to get one cornerback. And yeah, he had a good game today. The Rams.
Oh, well, no, they're not going to win anything because their division is too good. But, you know, it is what it is. Their division is way too good.
All I want to know is, does one player come in and stop 42 points?
No, but if it makes just a couple of stops, we win a couple of games.
If we have Von Miller, they wouldn't score 42. I'm willing to put my soul on that.
We have Von Miller.
I will see you in hell, Damo.
He said, "I will see you in hell, then, J-Mo."
Is Von Miller stopping?
There's no way you can get me to believe an elite player like Von Miller wouldn't have had an impact on this game. That's just blue.
I mean, is one player stopping Delvin Cook though? Is one extra player stopping Delvin Cook? I mean, I'm
right, like they passed the ball, but they really just ran it down our throat. So how does one player stop that 42?
It doesn't stop the 42, but it stops a couple of plays where we don't lose the game. That's all. We have no pass rush.
Like Von Miller can win 1-on-1.
I'm not saying he's the end-all, be-all, but the reason we're losing and the reason this is taking place is the lack of pass rush. I mean, that is the whole reason, man.
You can't expect, what is Von Miller like? What, top 3 linebackers in the league? We add a top 3 linebacker, it's not going to have an effect. Come on, that's crazy.
All I'm saying is, you listen, and I like this statement right here. Chicago broke the bank, and look at them now. Just saying.
All got to do is trade for Matthew Stafford.
No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the problems with the Lions are deeper than a player away. We're not a player away problem team. We got issues with our scheme and game plan. That's the problem. One player away is not the problem. That's not it.
I don't disagree with you, but my thing is, we're the Lions. We only win when we have overwhelming talent, and it's been proven in our older teams. That's how we have to win, because when we're a team like now, when we're a solid, sound football team that's defensive, like when we're like, if we look at this is probably the best Lions team with the worst record we've ever seen.
True.
Hey, I can't.
Well, we should be 5-0.
I can't say you wrong on that.
But I agree. I just agree with Dave Griffin. We just got outplayed today.
Yeah, like we did get outplayed. When you have all those little mistakes, what do you need? Talent. Talent overwhelms everything. We had Sue. I'll never forget, man. Stafford did not play well at all in 2014, and we won 11 games. So it's talent. That's why I want that. That's why I want that power move, because it seemed like talent is the only thing that does it. Because when we
but what are you willing to pay for that power move?
Look what
I'm willing to pay. If it's Von Miller, I'll give up a first for Von Miller.
What did the 49ers do that I felt they were going to be a good team this year, or much better than they were last year? They got pass rush. They added Joey Bosa that made the trade from Kansas City Chiefs. And obviously Garoppolo got healthy. But when you can have a pass rush that's dominant, that's how you win games. You got to beat on the line of scrimmage. You got to beat in the trenches. And right now we're getting beat. That is where we are failing at.
The Niners,
I think the 49ers got Kyle Shanahan.
I mean, also the Niners.
Kyle Shanahan will be looking just like that.
Also the Niners. Also the Niners. They run the ball a lot.
Yeah, Nick Bosa. Sorry.
They run the ball.
The Niners. And let's forget, the Niners were trash for like a decade to get all of these first-round picks. Now, if y'all want to be trash for a decade and hope we get Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm cool. But if that's not what y'all want, y'all want to win now, then we got to do some moves to win now, or in this season, win 9 games, win 8 games, and try next year.
But even the general review, shout out to the general review, even he says we got a defensive genius and a run specialist as an offensive coordinator. But where are those adjustments? Our problems are bigger than a player. Listen, they have swapped out more running backs than I can count. They have swapped out receivers. They have swapped out, you name it. Greens, beans, tomatoes, lettuce, you name it. They did it all. The problem is there's something systematically that is not working. The adjustments are not there. The run blocking is not there. The scheme, the setup is not there. The play call is not there. One player, who are we trading for? Jesus? If we trade for Jesus, you're right. We got it all together.
No, we're gonna trade for Jim Jones, some Kool-Aid, and we're gonna start a cult movement.
We're gonna think about it.
I see what you did there, Mike.
It's not as simple as y'all making it, because every Lions team has one fatal flaw. We need to be able to build a team without that flaw. This flaw coming to the season, O-line, pass rush. That's continued. You can add the run game, but it don't matter how good the team is. It don't matter who the players are. We always have one fatal flaw on the team, and that fatal flaw could even be coaching.
Big time question from the general view.
It's the D-line.
General
view. Fix your fatal flaws to build a football team.
J-Mo. General View's got a question. Is Kerryon the answer at running back?
Yes.
Man, get Kerryon and Dallas Cowboys O-line.
Well, no, listen, you don't even got to give him the Dallas Cowboy O-line. You just need to have competent guards that can move somebody. That's it. Get a guard that can move somebody.
And I'm not talking about you, General View. Not talking about you. But Lions fans must have forgot what it's like not to have a 100-yard rusher in a football game. Kerryon is the last thing on the problem list.
I mean, yeah. Hopefully Kerryon can stay healthy, but we can't control that.
He has to stay healthy, but like when the last time we had a 100-yard rusher, like stop it.
I put it this way. To me, it just boiled down to the same thing. We're just not utilizing all our weapons. It took for Kerryon to go out for us to give the ball to Ty Johnson, and we didn't do that right. So, it's not. I don't think it's a running back issue per se, as much as I think it's a blocking scheme and a scheme perspective that's the problem. We have to be better at blocking. When you look at teams who can run the ball, i.e. the Colts, the 49ers, they got good guard play. The front three.
If you're gonna say that, Luke, then I'm gonna blame Matt Patricia because in the offseason,
Then blame him.
He fired our run coordinator. He fired our run coordinator, and I didn't understand why. I'm like, we ran the football well. Why would you fire the guy? And he fired him, brought in the dude from Cincinnati. And look, I didn't think we should have fired our run coordinator because we ran the football well, even when Kerryon got hurt. But it's those small things.
Matthew's got a good one. He says on the reel, we're only about 47 players away, a head coach, a defensive coordinator, and an offensive coordinator from competing in the division.
Right.
In truth, we really hey man, Lions are 3 plays away from being 5-1. That hurts. Football is a cruel sport.
Man, the truth
we are who we thought they were.
But we gotta put listen, anytime stuff like this happens, you gotta put this at the foot of the head coach. You have to. We can't keep blaming the quarterback. You gotta put it at the foot of the head coach. And I know we don't want to do it, but when I look at these games, if you are a defensive minded head coach, okay, because I saw him last year take over games, it's almost like he don't want to step on PP's I'm changing his name. Paul Pascal. I'm just gonna. Yeah. Didn't like how that sound. Didn't like how that sound. I just didn't like it. I didn't like how it sound. So it sounded real disgusting. But Paul Pascal.
Oh my
God. Listen. I didn't.
More last year.
But it's one of the things where you can tell that Matt Patricia last year. He had his hands in the defense, piece by piece, and they performed. Now he's got his mentor here and Paul Pasqualoni, because I can't say PP no more. I don't feel comfortable. But he got Paul Pasqualoni here, and it doesn't seem like he's so quick to put his hand in there, to me.
Hey, man, I blame Matt Patricia too, man.
No, this is the reason why I blame Matt Patricia. I'm a simple man. How many times do I have to say the same thing? What's your calling card, head coach? Defense. How many points we give up? In the discussion. I'm not gonna blame him for losing to the Packers or the Chiefs or none of that. I'll blame him for the Cardinals. But it's defense. You're a defensive coordinator. 42 points to Kirk Cousins without Adam Thielen for 3 quarters.
I'll tell you what's worse than all that. Getting a damn penalty.
The whole game.
Getting a penalty on a field goal try with 12 people on the field, that was a killer to me. That was hashtag PP-gate.
The one play today they had 12 on the field.
Professional coach in the NFL and give up a first down on a field goal try. That's so crazy, and that just shows you issues. And I'm telling you, man, his in-game time management is just off. It was bad in the beginning. He did a little better through a couple games, but it's not been good. He's not.
They run it with this PP thing, man. They got the PP gate. PP is the right. Hey, it was a really fast catch on my part. We gonna leave PP alone. It's Paul Pasqualoni.
Let's get hashtag PP gate trending.
I call him Paul Pepperoni, bro.
Y'all crazy, man.
I like the hashtag PP gate. That's funny.
Oh my God, you got the hashtag PP gate, bruh. No, I mean, but let's be honest, fellas.
The the reason why a lot of Lions fans are mad is because if you know anything about football, you look at this team. You saw what Kurt Warner said about it before the game. Like, I'm looking at the Lions. God dang, they look real good. How are they 2-2? And when you know this and we lose games, it's crazy. And I feel like, that Chiefs game, that's the game. That's the game where we were supposed to. I know we supposed to win the Packers game. We ain't gonna. I'm not discussing that today. Shout out to my fellow people in the stadium that had on the ref shirts with cheese heads. Shout out to y'all. But that Chiefs game, I'm telling you, that was the game where our season turned again.
I can tell you this. I can tell you this much, man. You got to just get to a point now where, as we look forward to the upcoming weeks, we obviously know we're going against the Giants. I would be shocked if somebody picked the Giants to win that game. So you expect them to be 3-3-1. But going forward, man, we have to start to really be honest about what we're looking at game in and game out, and are they being prepared appropriately for each game? That's really what it boils down to for me. The sad part is I don't even think Matt Patricia gets fired unless they devastately go like 5-11. They got to win like 6 games and less, and he'll be fired. But just one game over 6, and I think he'll be able to stay. Listen. Last year I was ready to fire him. I was ready to fire him last year to the second half of the season. Where I started seeing the defense play better. Yeah, but I mean, even this year, a lot of that stuff carried over, man. You're not managing the clock. You're letting the people run the clock down on you. And let's be honest, I'm not even trying to be funny. If you just simply say to your D line, like the D line was doing slant stunts all game, forget that. Tell them to hold their guys to free the lanes up and for the linebackers to hit their gap. The gap assignments were horrible today, man. Horrible.
Roland G says, at Micro Mike, now tell me, how can the announcers know what the play the Vikings ran at the end of the game down the field to Diggs, and the Lions only had one defensive back to cover because they're playing to stop the run? It was quite obvious. This is the type of stuff that happens at the end of a game. You know that they're going to run it, and if they don't, you're putting a lot of your personnel up there to stop the run, and you're banking on that they're going to run it. Now, they didn't run it, so that's why that got killed. And so they banked on it. It was I'm not sure how they came up with that or what the decision was to leave Diggs one-on-one, but that's the way they did it.
You know what it was, Mike? You know what it was? It wasn't even a decision to make it one-on-one. It was a offensive coordinator who paid attention to what the Lions were doing. Every play action they bit that time. Everyone. Because the whole game plan was stop the run. And they were getting frustrated that they couldn't do it. So that was a perfect play to dial up. In our case, when we had 4th and 2, ours was more predictable because they knew that our offensive coordinator wasn't going to throw the ball down the field like that. He wasn't. And I'm tired of getting these half games from people. It's like if TJ goes off, then none of the other receivers can go off. Or if Kenny Galladay go off, the tight end or the receiver can't go off. When are we going to just get a complete game?
And I have a suggestion. Motor City Thanos, if he can just snap his fingers, and get rid of the bad stuff, it would work. And then we can move forward. But Sari Bander says, I woke up from coma at 28 years. Lions just lost to the Redskins in the NFC Championship, and I went into a coma. How's the Lions doing now? Micro Mike, Luke G, Detroit Drew, and JMO.
You're going to want to go back to sleep, my man. Don't wake up.
Yeah, man. Go back into a coma.
Yeah, I'm not out on the Lions yet. Let me be clear. Luke G has not checked out on the Lions just yet because mathematically we are still in it.
There you go, gassing them up again.
Yeah, you're right. See, they go to gas part, but I'm not. My thing is this: you got to be honest, man. I mean, Green Bay got some more losses coming. Vikings got more losses coming. The Bears are who we think they are. You say what now?
Who Green Bay gonna lose to? Who Green Bay gonna? I'm being 100. Who they gonna lose to?
They got some trap games. I think the Chargers is a trap game because they got to go on the road.
No, they got the referees.
I mean, they got Arrowhead too. But
they got Arrowhead without Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So
right, that's what I'm saying. But my thing, I told you, my thing was, I expect us to beat the Giants. We lose to the Raiders, it's a wrap. That's the way I feel. The Raiders game is our season. After we beat the Giants, we better have. We lose to the Giants. Oh my God, woo! Y'all gonna want to see that video. But after that, it's the Raiders game. To me, that's the game we have to win if we want to stay in it. And I always.
Oh no, we gotta win out. We gotta win out.
Today was a game we should have won if you wanted to stay in it.
We gotta win out.
Yeah, I'm with Detroit Drew. I'm with him there.
Yeah, we gotta go 82.
Saying like, hey, next week this has got to be the game we gotta win. Next game we gotta win. No, today and Monday were the two games we needed to win, and when it mattered, we didn't do it.
I mean, we're lucky that this is the weakest part of our schedule. I mean, the only good thing I can say about our schedule is that this is the weakest part of our schedule. We're lucky that it is, but still, though, come on, you got to win these games.
I mean, well, this is the way that I see it, and I actually have a problem with this. Can't believe I'm about to say the words that I'm about to say, but the two best teams on our schedule, I'm not talking about Kansas City. We lost. To me, that's kind of alarming. The NFC North is so good. Like, this might be one of the best divisions I've ever seen. So, Packers and Vikings were the two best teams on our schedule. We lost to both.
And the truth is, if you really go back and you just look at it, this season was set up in so many perfect ways. I mean, you played an Arizona Cardinals team with no Patrick Peterson. They rookie receiver was out. They had all kinds of problems in Utah. You know, you play the Chiefs with no. I mean, it was just so perfect. Set up for you to just, you know, they were, like you said, a few plays away from being undefeated. But the truth is mathematically they're not out. I'm telling you, them teams got some losses coming. And we just have to understand some things, you know, where this football thing is a look of the draw. Now, Matthew says, honestly, fellas, is there any other team with our luck? Arizona game, timeout kills the drive, Amendola stays in bound, Kansas City, Mahomes runs free to seal the game, Green Bay 12-man, phantom calls, TJ drop touchdown, etc. That you know, that just comes from us having to learn how to win. Don Burns says, Luke, stop it, man. Listen, I would love to stop it, but I'm telling you, I really believe that the Packers and the Vikings, because the Packers and the Vikings got to play. Basically, they got to still play each other again. They all can't win. They still got division games, so they still got some losses coming.
I think people are talking about. I think they talking about like playoffs and stuff like that because at the end of the day, it's the NFL. At any point in time, anybody can get hurt. So that's why I'm just gonna wait and see. We better blow out the Giants 42-10, and then we beat the Raiders, and then we got the Bears. That's gonna be the game. And we do it again, or are we gonna fold again? Because that's really the game. If we win the other two games, and then you got the Cowboys, the Redskins, and the Bears.
Here's an alarming stat. Arizona has a better record than the Lions from D-Town.
Yeah, they do.
They
won't after. They won't next week.
Hands Therapeutic Massage says, Hands Therapeutic Massage in Purple Paradise says, we agree today, Luke, and gave me the fist pump. I just think that there's going to be some more losses on there, man. I do. And the truth is this. The Lions need to still handle their business, but I told y'all, if we lose today, God, we're going to need some prayer because we're going to need some help. And I told you, it's a very good chance they can win 10 games and still not make the playoffs. And it won't be the first time. I think the Patriots win 11 games and they didn't make the playoffs, so it wouldn't be shocking. However, the goal is to improve upon certain things and to see improvement. For me right now, I want to see improvement from head coaching, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, hell, special teams.
For me, I want to see gas and throw it so it can get lit. Because right now it's just not good enough gas lighting. I think it's imperative to get more gas to throw in here to get it lit up. You know, So I bet if Breezy Sweat says, I bet if Barry suited up, he'd be better than Johnson. That would be fun to see, man. I ain't gonna lie. JMO says phone is at 2% on. If Trubisky plays against us, we could win. Yeah, they got a really good defense over there in Chicago. Absolutely do. Luke G, should we pour some more gas on this team to light it up and really bring it up like that?
I'm not, like I said, I'm not ready to just to burn this team up. I'm not. I think that this is a team that's a very good team, but we have to get better on every facet. And the problem is this. You want me to toss it out when we are mathematically out of the playoffs, then we can address it. But right now, I know that the next game they're winning. Like people may go, you guaranteeing that? I'm guaranteeing that they'll beat the Giants. Where there will be a little bit of a challenge, but they should still win against the Raiders. Yes. But again, we lost our second division game. We still got 4 to go. So 4 division games, and you got to try to go 8-2, 9-1. I know it sounds hard. It sounds highly improbable. If they get 9 wins, it could be a lot of things that go wrong on other divisions with other teams. You just never know. So as it stands right now, I am not burning up this team.
I mean, if you look at the schedule, I mean, there's a lot of winnable games left. Very winnable games left.
See, Pride Time says, Yad did the same thing after Arizona. The next thing you know, we the best in the division. Now we back to Arizona. Oh, man. Arizona's got a better
It's just called being a Lions fan. There's no better way to describe it.
Luke and Mike, go ahead.
But no, I'm gonna say, and keep in mind, that that roller coaster for a Lion fan is real, man. It's real. We either 1 or 2 plays from being undefeated, or 1 or 2 bad calls from being undefeated, or we were 1 or 2 plays from being completely winless. That's what makes football so special. It's not just this show up and be a cakewalk. I was encouraged to see us score touchdowns today versus field goals, but damn, the defense didn't show up. And so we fixed one problem, but it's almost like we spent so much time fixing one problem, we forgot to keep the other one in line. So
it's like the Titanic, man. It just,
yep,
it just sinks, man. You know what I love about this is we're a community of fans that been through hell and back, and we're all in this together, whether we win, lose, or draw. And I get frustrated just like any of you guys, and sometimes I just want to punch a wall. But thankfully, with everyone in here, it calms me down, and I hope it's vice versa the same way. We got to make jokes. We got to enjoy and embrace the suck. That's just the way it is. So many times, like, we can get mad and so frustrated with this damn team, in which we do, but we have no control over what they do. So whether it's good or bad, I'm still going to be here, still going to drop content and not put my head through a wall, not eat crayons, not lick windows, and continue to put gas on a fire because I like to gaslight things up. And Noble Sports says, Luke and Mike, do you think we are going to run the table? Hell no, we're not going to run the table.
No, I don't think we're going to run the table. I don't think we're going to run the table, but I think we're going to win more games than people may suspect. I'm not out on the team just yet. I'm not happy about what I saw today, but I was very encouraged and hope that they can keep that type of offense of scoring going. I can't do this field goal stuff, man. One game we lose because we can't get in the end zone. Next game we lose after we get in the end zone. We can't stop somebody else from getting in the end zone. We got to bring it together or at least reel it in so that way when the offense is putting up those points, it works out. But, we got to be able to be better on every facet. And like I said, it starts at the top from the head coach.
Folks, TA, I'm going to make this the last question for today. He says, do you still think we make the postseason? Detroit Drew.
No. Not after today. I can't. We blew our best chance of making it winning the NFC North, and if we do make it, it's gonna be a wild card, and we're not gonna win a wild card game. So
I can answer this. Hell no.
Okay.
We got
do, no, and hell knows. Luke G, what do you got, man?
Yes, they still make the playoffs. Yes. Listen, y'all got to understand something. You tell of two tapes. Either it's the referees screwed us or we need to have a more complete game. And to me, by complete game is not saying that you got to be perfect, meaning that we needed one stop on defense and just couldn't get it like we supposed to. And I just look at it and I say, we still have a chance to make that playoffs. Mathematically, we are still in it. We do have some teams on the schedule that we should be able to beat. And we definitely can't lose to no Giants and Raiders, but we still have teams on the schedule that we can beat.
Okay. Well, my prediction is no, we do not make the playoffs. I wouldn't say a hell no. I just say it's just not happening. And it's not just due to us. It's talk about the rest of the NFC.
Yeah.
The records are just so freaking. There's so many good teams in the NFC this year, except for the Falcons. I don't know what in the world's going on with that team. But the rest of the NFC is fairly strong. So.
I mean, when I say that, it's not really a shot at our team. I mean, I don't think we're a bad team. It just somehow we just can't win these games for some reason.
Yep.
And Roland G says our coaches are bad. Luke, admit it. Roland G, you might want to go all the way back. I told you that was going to be my major concern. I didn't even, and the rest of y'all can contest to this, right? Everybody was naming positions like offensive line, and I was like, yeah, I'm worried about the coach. I'm worried about the coach. The coaching is what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's some of the issues I saw last year. So, I mean, we just gotta come together. I like what Bruce Betterly said too. I like to see better tackling because the tackling is the best tackle of the game came from the safety when he stood the running back straight up. I think it was Cook or Matt. I can't remember which one it was. He stood him straight up and drove him back. That's the best tackle of the game.
Hands Therapeutic Massage and Purple Paradise says, hey, you're all tripping, go to bed. Hey, I will definitely go to bed better if you can give me a massage. My back is all sorts of jacked up. I would love to get put in place, make me feel better, and then I can sleep better and be happy and smile for y'all and give you some good content. With that said, folks, we're going to go ahead and start to shut this bad boy down. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you, CA3. What do you got to say to the folks?
Man, this is a tough game, man, but I mean, this that's the reality of being a Lions fan, man. It's just tough. But I mean, the season is not completely over, but I mean, it's getting close to over, but the Lions just got to win the majority of these remaining games, and if they have any chance of making a wild card spot. But I mean, we'll see what happens, though.
Okay. Detroit Drew, man, what do you got to say to the folks?
Well, unfortunately, it's a tough loss for the Lions, but now with the NBA starting Tuesday, DSA has got you covered for 2 major sports. Above the Rims on tomorrow, Monday night, 8 p.m. my channel. Then we have the Roundtable Tuesday and Thursday. And then Wednesday, I will be going live play-by-play for the Detroit Pistons season opener. So DSA has got you covered for everything that you guys need. So stay tuned, subscribe to everybody. All their links are in the description. You don't want to miss a single second.
Yeah, man. Luke G, man, tell them what you got to say.
Hey, man. Hey, I just appreciate y'all all coming here. Everyone who called in the event, everybody in the chat who called in the event, the people who gave a thumbs up, the people who gave a thumbs down. I like to try to end the shows on positive notes and put us in a better mind state. Forrest Gump said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. What he failed to say after that was, even if you don't like the chocolates that are in the box, it is better to have said chocolates than an empty stomach, which means let's be grateful for the things that we do have. Football is very important, but family, friends, love, and other things are much more important. Put your focus on that, and this cannot depress you. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you please do 2 things for me. Make sure you hit those like, subscribe, and notification bells to subscribe to the DSA members, and don't be no chump, please. Please do your research.
Thanks again for rocking out with us, even with a loss. Look, we're all in this together. We're all fans as well. DSA is a community. Win, lose, or draw, it makes me feel a lot better to get up in here with you guys, make some jokes, eat some crayons, and have some fun. Even with a loss, man, in the Army, when you're having a bad day, it's called embrace the suck. You always embrace the suck. It sucks. Just go ahead and embrace it, because guess what? There's nothing we can do about it. And that's just the way it is. Tomorrow, my show starts for the first time ever, episode 1, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. and I will be talking Lions daily. It's going to be fun, man. Even with the loss, it will definitely be fun. I'll try to get those phone lines up, and we'll begin. Absolutely having a great time. With that said, folks, thanks again. Adios.